long. I forgot how it goes. You know, the latest in movies and TVs and more talking through the medias. And this is episode. Oh man, I don't even know what episode I'm on. 111. Man, it's been a while. So I'm sorry it's been so long. But me and Sean, we were playing PUBG. And we were just talking about just random stuff. I think we started talking about the possibilities of the Clue reboot, and I'm just reading a little bit about who may or may not be producing it and starting it, and when that's not even who I thought it would be. And I'm writing an article on who I feel should be in this movie. I have a lot of people in mind um, as far as the casting, and because I love that movie, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm very, very happy of seeing a remake or excuse me, or reboot for it. And I'm not one of those guys, man. I was listening to the Breakfast Club. Was it yesterday? Charlamagne the God talking about a remake of I forgot what movie he was talking about. Like no, they shouldn't make a remake of this. They should make a remake of that. This is some movies you don't make a remake. I mean, I'm not a part of that club. I mean, there's no such thing as something that's just so untouchable. It can't be done better than the original. That's not true. You don't know that. If that was the case, I mean, we would never have the Scarface movie. Everybody, a lot of people, including me, for a long time, always thought that the Scarface movie with Al Pacino was the original Scarface, but that was a reboot, and it's gonna and talks that it's gonna be rebooted again, based on the Mexican cartel storyline. Now, first it was Italian, then it was Cuban, and now the Mexican cartel. Man, these things, as time changes, these things get rebooted. Um, and that reminds me, I'm gonna talk about something else a little later too, because it's all coming back. Remind me to talk about X-Men in a little bit, because I've been going back and forth with this dude on Twitter, and it's been kind of funny. But enough about this. So let's talk about what the main title is. So the reason why we came from that subject to what you see written below is because the idea of the movie The Big Hit came up, and I uh, I had an idea for the movie. The Mark Wahlberg film, the Big Hit. If you guys don't know about the Big Hit, I think it came out in like 98. It says okay, so the release date was April 24th, 1998. It was directed by Kirk Wong. Box office $27 million on a $13 million budget, so it was pretty. It was like profit. Rotten Tomato gives it 41%, Metacritic 31%, 6 out of 10 IMDb, right? But it's I don't even know if it's a cult class or not. I don't know. But all I know is that everybody who has seen this movie and has appreciated the way appreciated it, because I see a lot of other reviews out there. People talk about this film as one of those cult classics that still kind of rings in your head. It's one of those movies, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why this movie it has lasting it has power. The cast was amazing. Um, Let me just start off with the cat, and they still look great today. I mean, even the girl in the movie, China Chow, and I'm trying to remember, was she in high school or was that college? I'm hoping it was. If she was high school, maybe she was 18. I don't know. Let's just say college, because Mark Wahlberg being the hero assassin, I don't know, getting with her, nowadays. Yeah, I don't know if you'd have got away with that today. But I'm gonna say college. I'm gonna have to watch this movie again, and I'm gonna hope college, but I think it was high school. But like, don't quote me on that. But she's beautiful, and I'm sure in real life they're very close to age. I forgot Christina Applegate was in this movie. I forgot about that. The reason why I bring it up is because this movie is so quotable. I mean, there's a reason why some movies are considered cult classics. If you find yourself quoting it all the time, Lou Diamond Phillips at the most. I mean, it's always when me and Sean are playing video games, right? Where I'm about to get this chicken, baby. The way I want to do an interview with Lou Diamond Phillips and ask him about his Cisco character. Uh, you can tell me that the director came up with that, and he said, "I want you to talk like this, baby." No, no, the way he did it was so smooth. And Lou Diamond Phillips needs to play more villain roles. But that the way he did it in this movie, the mannerisms, the body language, the way he was just such a dick, just such an ass. Lou, somebody that somebody. There's somebody in your life. This is a movie that's 20 years old, man. there's somebody in your life that you were mentally tapping into. There's no way in the world you're gonna tell me that the director, oh, is this exactly how I want you to play it? Just like this, all right? I came up with no. There was somebody in Lou's life. And the man was like 36, 35, like 35 when that movie was filmed, man. He's 57 now. Mark Wahlberg. Let's go back to Mark. Mark Wahlberg. He's 48. I mean, this movie was made in 98. Dude, these characters were crazy. The Crunch character. There is nothing funnier than my boy Bakeem Woodbine, who, dude, you want to see some good roles with this man. He's always playing a guy who's like he's tough as nails, street or hood or whatever you want to say. But lately, he's been getting cast in some good roles where he's being taken more seriously. He was getting typecast for a while, kind of not. I mean, every now and then, like military, gangster, or cop, so because he just has one of those looks. He's just a tough guy, kind of looking at, and that raspy voice, the way he talked, man. He's just one of these guys, man. But his character, I don't know what these guys, they play assassins, and I'm sorry if I didn't say this in the beginning. Let me go back, bro. Let me check myself for a second. Let me go back. Let me tell you what the big hit was about. So the big hit. All right, let me read the synopsis to you guys real quick. All right, let's see. A fabled hitman, Melvin Smiley, Mark Wahlberg, is constantly being scammed by his cutthroat colleagues in the life-ending business. So when he and his fellow assassins kidnap the daughter of an electronic mogul, it's natural Melvin who takes the fall when their prime score turns sour. That's because the girl in the is the goddaughter of the gang's ruthless crime boss. But even while dodging bullets, Melvin has to keep his real job secret from the unsuspecting fiance, Christina. That's right, she was a fiance. That's right, she was the fiance. So you got a group of assassins, and you got these cutthroat co-workers with Lou Diamond Phillips, with Bokeem playing Crunch, Lou Diamond playing Cisco, and they're always messing with him, man. They're always like the very beginning of the movie. There's a job that they do, and whoever kills the target gets the bonus. They all get paid for doing the job, but the bonus is what you want. And Mark Wahlberg gets the kill, but Lou Diamond, Cisco, this ass, just the dead bodies right there, and just puts a couple of shots in it. Hey, my kill, my bonus. They even plan it like they know from the beginning. He got the kill. It don't matter if Melvin got the kill. I put a couple bullets in it myself. He was still alive when I found him, baby. Like, nah, dude. He did the double. He did the two in the chest, one in the head. The dude was dead, man. No way. But he's like, hey, you want to be a bitch about it? You can take the bonus if you're gonna be a bitch about it, like that. Like he's trying to do that reverse psychology stuff on him, man. Of course, because Melvin is a pushover. He's a nice guy. And then he gives him the bonus, and he's in need of money because Christina Applegate is always milking him and always taking his money. And then you got a guy like Crunch, and Crunch, oh my God, my boy Crunch is I don't know what to call him. He's just was it a pansexual? What do you call it? Asexual? He only has sex with himself. It's just about him and his hand. He's always working that hand out, right? And you borrow money from this dude, and you're like, oh man, I don't even know what to say or how to call it. And you're like, oh man, please don't tell me. Let me know if that was like if we were having all that feedback and stuff, because I couldn't hear it in my. I mean, you know what? Pretend like that didn't happen. It was only a few minutes in. I can edit that out. Just start all over, man. Let me read it to you again. Look, okay, guys. For those of you who don't know, the big hits are Mark Wahlberg, Lou Diamond Phillips, Christina Applegate, and Bokeem Woodbine. A fittable hitman, Melvin Smiley, is constantly being scammed by his cutthroat colleagues in his life ending business. So, when he and his fellow assassins kidnap the daughter of an electronic mogul, it's natural Melvin who takes the fall when their prime score turns sour. That's because the girl is the goddaughter of the gang's ruthless crime boss. But even while dodging bullets, Melvin has to keep his real job being an assassin, a secret from his unsuspecting fiancee Pam, who's played by Christina Applegate. This movie came out in 1998. It's directed by Kurt Wong. $27 million budget. I mean, $27 million in the box office on a $13 million budget, so it's a little bit of a profit, right? But critics don't like it all that much. But it's a cult classic. It's a hit to me, man. This movie was a hit. And the reason why it's a hit is because I already said this before, but I didn't know the feedback thing was happening because I wasn't listening. It's because it's very quotable. You got Lou Diamond Phillips, who I want to interview for this movie, who just I don't know that character. The director did not make that character up. Lou Diamond Phillips knows somebody's sister, cousin, brothers, uncle, whatever. Somebody from back in the day. He was mentally tapping into. But then you have Bokeem Woodbine playing a character named Crunch, who is an asexual kind of dude who only he doesn't have any girlfriends. He saves his money, he stacks his money up because he doesn't, they say, you'll save more money being single, right? So Mark Wahlberg plays a character. He's a very nice guy. He's a pushover. He's an assassin. He can take care of himself. But when it comes to his friends, his coworkers and colleagues, he's the runt of the litter, right? He's the pushover. So even when they get a kill, and it's not about the mission, it's about the bonus. Whoever kills the target he always gets the bonus, and they talk him out of that bonus. Like, he gets the kill, one to the head, two to the chest. But Lou Diamond Phillips is such a smooth operator, such a dick. He's like, he just puts two shots into a dead body. He was like, "Hey man, the Mark was alive when I found him, baby. Yeah, hey, that's my bonus. But if you're gonna be a little bitch about it, I'll give you the money." And that peer pressure in front of your friends, and he's like, "I take it." And everybody laughing at him, right? But you got your fiance. She got a lifestyle. She want that money. She's used to things a certain way. She wants that money, right? So you got to keep up with her. And the thing I loved about this movie, man, was that he's an assassin. He's getting all this money, but he can't keep it because you live in a lifestyle where you're spending more than you keep. So what you got to do sometimes, you got to borrow from your friends. And Crunch, my boy Bokeem, has one of the best lines in this movie because he has to borrow money from him, right? He's like, "You need it for that bitch again, don't you?" Because everybody knows she's mean. She don't, nobody likes her, right? And here's one of the life lessons I learned in 1998 after watching this movie. Did I watch this movie in the theaters or did I see it at home? I think I saw it when it came. Movies used to come to DVD faster than they do now. Well, not just as fast. I can't remember, but I remember seeing it a lot on TV. And one of the lines that Crunch told Melvin, man, about his money, about being with a woman that spends all your money, you be spending more than you're taking. He said, "How many times have I told you? Straight jacking saves you that mad cream." It was the best line I ever heard in my life. You instantly knew what he was talking about because the guy was like, he's working his hands. He got one of those fist muscle things. He's working his arm out. He's like, you're looking at his hands like, "Oh yeah, I love my hands," because he's about to go home and just be with himself. Because dude is infatuated with himself. No girlfriend. It's all about him. He's got it. But his hand, he loves his hand. So keeping the hand strong. And he told him right to his face, look Mark Wahlberg right in the eye, said, "Mark, straight jacking saves you that mad cream." Oh, it was I'm sorry, man. That movie is it's very quotable. It's got a lot of lines in it, man. That's just it blows my mind how every now and then I keep thinking about this movie. So why am I thinking about this movie right now? I'll tell you what, I'm glad you asked. I feel like this movie could have had a franchise. If Mark Wahlberg were to have made this movie within the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. See, this is back when Mark Wahlberg was still Vincent Chase on Entourage, when he was up in the ups and downs, getting some movies here and there. He was going through, but by the end of the series, when Mark Wahlberg finally blew up, and you got Turtle who on Power now. Today, if Mark Wahlberg would have made this exact same movie, even with the exact same cast, this movie would have made 50, probably 60, 70 million on the same budget, maybe a little bit more. Easily probably would have could have came close to 80, 90 million if they'd have done it right. If with the um exact same cheesiness of it and the exact same cast with the exact same acting and all that stuff in it, even at today's age, they all look great, right? This movie would have been a huge hit, and I think could have been a franchise. Now, if you would have franchised this movie, and that's why I'm talking, that's the main thing I'm talking about right now. A sequel to the big hit, I feel could happen. Mark Wahlberg's 48 years old, but he still looks pretty relatively the same. He's still an action star. He can still pull off the funny. You got to bring a cast because everybody now. Spoiler alert, guys! You're not going to have the original cast in there. I mean, this was a movie about assassins. You got a movie called The Big Hit, and then while me and Sean were playing the game, he goes, "Well, your sequel could be called." It was just off the top of the head, just playing around. The bigger hit, the biggest hit. Boom! There you go. Right, instantly, I was like, they need to do that. The sequel to the big hit, the bigger hit, and start this movie right now. You could cast people like Ryan Reynolds, Chris Hemsworth, Jason Statham. Hell, you couldn't afford it, but The Rock. They make him an executive producer. You could have dude, you could have a whole new team that you have to deal with every year, and hell, bring Christina Applegate back. Maybe something happened. Did she die in the end? If she didn't die, bring her back. Maybe the girl he got with, who was she in high school or not? Now that's the part I think you would have to worry about, because if she was in high school, I don't know if I want to bring that up again. But if she was I think that was a college, or maybe it was a private school. I don't know. Either way it goes, she was probably 18, maybe. But hell, even Christina Applegate, that I could see that she talk her way back into getting back with him, and then they're married and stuff, and he still has to, he's miserable. Why'd you get back with her then? And then your ex, the girl that you were supposed to be with, is like, she's long gone. And now you got the stakes are raised. She's not just a fiance now she's her wife. The stakes are raised, man. You got to make that money. And then I mean, the possibilities of that becoming a franchise is endless, man. You got people in that same age group, maybe younger, that could really fit. The Rock would fit in that. Hell, Samuel Jackson, I could see him doing it. They work good together. There's a lot of people that can pull this off. I wouldn't go as far as like a straight up comedian. I mean, I'm talking about people who can be believable as action stars and still pull off funny. Looking at Hobbs and Shaw, maybe Eldris Elba. He's very funny. Um, that's just off the top of my head, I can't come up with it. That's why I brought this up, because I want to know what do you guys think about the title, The Bigger Hit, and the biggest hit for part two or part three, or should it just be the big hit two, the big hit three? But I like bigger hit and biggest hit, and then call it the big hit trilogy, or something like that, right? A big hit movie, no, big hit trilogy, and just see where it goes from there, man. But I thought that that was a hell of an idea, and I just want to know. Just think of some guys or some girls that can be in these types of movies that can pull it off and be believable. I'm talking about that can ride that. Oh, Charlize Theron. I mean, there's a lot of people that can ride that line of funny and pull off action. There's a small minority of actors that can pull it off. Um, but it can be done. Hell, Liam Neeson can do that. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. So that's the question I want to bring up with you. I want to talk about this subject. So let's keep talking about it. What do you think about the name that I came up with for this franchise? What do you think about the idea of it? Have you seen the big hit? Do you believe, is it too? I know it's been 20 years, but everything 20 years ago is coming back. I mean, 2018, 2019, you might as well call it 98, 99. Everybody from the 90s is coming back, right? Martin is coming back. Punky Brewster from the 80s is coming back. Come on, man. It's crazy. So I feel like this one could work. The first one made money. It did, whether you like it or not. It made money. So, what am I talking about? Well, I said that says a comment there, but I don't know if that was like what the hell are we talking about? The big hit. So that's what I'm talking about. If that's what you're asking. But I want to know what you guys think about that idea. Do you think the big hit should have a new movie, a franchise, and if the bigger hit is a success, they should do the third one and do the biggest hit, and then mention what names that you would put in your movie, your version of that movie. All right, moving on. So off of that subject, I want to go into something else. So real quick, I just saw All Rise on was it CBS? And I'm gonna do a real quick review of that TV show. So All Rise, if you didn't catch it, it's on CBS, on that must see TV, right? Is that CBS? I think that's CBS. Where everything is number one. No matter what, you ever notice that on CBS, everything is number one. We got this is the number one drama. This is the number one comedy. We got the number one. Everything is number one. They know how to market themselves, right? So All Rise, if you were a fan of Luke Cage, then guess what? Luke is back in another show. I think it's on CBS as well. I think it's called Evil. And my girl, Simone Missick from Luke Cage playing Lola, and Wilson Bethel from Daredevil. He played, I think he played Bullseye as back. And I was like, what? That's the part that tripped me out. So, but this is a courtroom show. So okay, so a look inside the chaotic, hopeful, and sometimes absurd lives of judges, prosecutors, and public defendants as they work with bailiffs, clerks, and cops to get justice for the people of Los Angeles amidst a flawed legal process. Among them is newly appointed Judge Lola, a highly regarded and impressive deputy district attorney who doesn't intend to sit back on the bench in her role, but instead lean in, immediately pushing the boundaries and challenging expectations of what a judge can be. Now, that part of it, when I saw the commercials and things like that, I was like, that's interesting enough. But the fact that Bullseye and is playing a prosecutor, and and Simone, who's just all out badass, I'm sorry, is back, and the fact that I missed these actors from Daredevil and Luke Cage, I was glad to see that they came together. This is a little snippet of the defenders, right? And they're in the courtroom, so they technically are defending people. I gotta say, this movie, I mean, this TV show, when it started off, it was interesting and very funny, very comical, very upbeat, very lighthearted, and then it got dark real fast. So it's one of those roller coaster shows where you're up and you're down. You from the very beginning. You got people talking about I got coffee for you. You got the person that's running the courtroom. Let's keep the court assistant, and she's a hard ass, played by, let's see, is it Ruthie Ann? And then you got Jessica Camacho, and I'm trying to remember where I seen her from because she looks so familiar. But I just can't place it right now. I don't have time to look. But you got a cast that seems to work very good together. And then the sweetheart shows up. So I'm a fan of the John Campea show. Everybody knows that I watched the John Campea show, but I am a huge fan of becoming a huge follower of Erin Cummings, who is cast in this show. She was in the pilot. And I'm gonna put it up because this is gonna be probably pre-recorded, but I'll put it up on the edited version of it. And here's the tweet that me and her shared. But I'll tell you about it. So I tweeted out to her and I pretty much said, it's hurting my heart being a fan of the John Campea show and loving you so much in real life, but then hating you so much on this show All Rise because your character is I'm like, no, please say it ain't so. You're being crooked. Please tell me that you're going to be on please tell me you're going to be on a path of redemption, because she plays this crooked cop who like plants evidence or something like that, or it's one of those cops that's like, I know she's guilty. No, you think she's guilty. No, I know what I saw. And it's like one of those situations, so one of those dangerous situations where a cop is like, no, I know what I saw and she's guilty. This is the person I'm arresting. They're guilty and I'll do whatever it takes to make that stick. But then it turns out you were wrong. And it's one of those situations where cops that do, I mean, it hurt. so bad because I love her in real life so much, and her knowledge of movies and her spirit on the John Campus show, and I love her so much. And I had to tell her that, and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be back." And she told me on tweet she will be back in episode 4. So so she's a character that comes and goes. She's not a part of the main roster, and I can see that maybe there's an arc, and maybe she's gonna be the villain of this season where she's gonna come back. He's gonna be in and out. I'm hoping because I love her so much. She's such a good actress. And Erin Cummings, oh yeah, I believe she also says she'll be back for Crisis, or she'll be back on Flash. Block, I think is her character. Oh, but I hated her so much. I'm like, oh man, I love you so much in real life. I love you. All right, here's a ring. I'm proposing. But oh man, that's the sign of a good actress, because even if you've seen her in her real life and how she really is and whatnot, and you see, and he or she can still make you hate them. That's the sign of a good actress. But the show was good. It Like I said, it was a roller coaster show. Seeing that these people who played such badasses and stuff on these Marvel movies, TV shows, and then they go back, and then they can be something totally different. Signs of great actors. I mean, which I knew going in. I knew these guys were good. But this team is good, and I'm this show is gonna last. I feel it in my bones that this is gonna be a show that's gonna stand the test of time. But what I want Aaron to be a part of the official as the official roster, but it's gonna be so hard. Not It's gonna be a villain. I think she's gonna be the overall villain, but I'm just for her personally. I just want her to be successful, right? Because she's such a sweetheart. But I feel like she's gonna be a villain. And I feel like it's only gonna be for this season, because the way she's starting, you're like, I just want to rip my arm off so I have something to throw at the TV. Like, no, 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 no. But it was that good. It was that good. It was very funny, very fast paced. I don't think that people in these situations in real life would act like this, but this is a drama, fantasy type of situation. There's no way in the world, spoiler alert, there's no way in the world that you're going to have a situation where a bailiff is going to spot something that the lawyers didn't, and then go out there and help out and be like, let's get this defense going on. I mean, people pretty much don't really go that far out. I mean, of course you're gonna push those bounds, because you got to make a romance happen. Obviously something's budding there between the bailiff and the defense attorney. Obviously there's something going on between the prosecutor and the judge from Marvel. Got to get them together, obviously, right? You got a lot of twists and turns that can go on, and when there's so many emotional possibilities like that in the TV show, I get kind of titillated. I get kind of it tickles my fancy, so to speak. And I'm like, all right, I don't like this. Okay, they're gonna get together, then they gonna break up, and then they gonna get together. It's gonna be funny, then they gonna get back together, and it's gonna be a big old circle. And then all of a sudden, then somebody gonna come in with a gun, and you gotta prosecute them, and they going to jail, and he gonna have to do something. It's gonna be fun. Oh man, and she's real cute, and I can't wait to. And my girl over there, I love her so much, but I hate her right now. It's gonna be great. It's one of those shows. So go check it out. All Rise. It's is it Mondays on CBS. And check out Erin Cummings. She's going to be back on episode 4. So if you haven't, catch up to episode 1. Episode 2 will be next week, next 3, and then on episode 4, she says she's going to be back. And I'll get to love you on the John Campy show and get to hate you on All Rise. So let's check it out. So let me know what you guys, if you guys see it, let me know what you guys think, and then let's keep talking about it next time, guys. Another show that I caught on what was it? Was this one on ABC? Emergence. Now, this was a show that I did not plan on watching, but they did such a good job with the advertisement. I kept catching the advertisement in the background. It's like in the back of my eye. I didn't know anything about the storyline, the plot, or anything, but they did such a good job, because I was looking forward to Stompton. I think that's playing tonight on the same network. With starring, let me go. Well, you know what, let me just keep it on subject, right? So Emergence TV series, like I said, I don't know what this is based on. I think it might be a comic book. I don't know. It looks like it could be, because it's dealing with sci-fi stuff. So let me just read it real fast. And they did a very good job with the marketing, well, for me at least, because I had no interest in seeing this. And then there was something about what was going on in the background that just made me go, let me just check that out. And I'm glad I did because I'm gonna love this show. After Joe, a police chief, takes in a young child she finds near the site of a mysterious accident, she soon discovers the girl has no memories of what has happened or who she is. The investigation into the history that led up to the accident, the question and questions as to how and why it happened, draws the woman into a conspiracy larger than she ever imagined, with the child's identity at the center of it. Now you all say, so if you're looking at the trailers and all that stuff, you're like, okay, this girl obviously has some kind of weird powers. There's a plane crash site, everybody's dead. There's a little girl that's still alive, no scratch on her. Was she on the plane? Couldn't be on the plane. Couldn't have been. She just got no scratch on her. But then all of a sudden these weird stuff started happening. People dressed up like these federal agents. They say, hey, you got a little girl, we want her. Wait, you can't be those agents because the agents are still at the crash site. And then all of a sudden, I was like, what crash site? Got rid of that. That was just a weather balloon. What the hell are you talking about? Roswell style. Then all of a sudden, this little girl is doing weird things and making stuff happen. Is when people are disappearing, like literally. Hey, we're this little girl's mom and dad. No, you're not. This is bull. I can tell. The cop. She's good. I can tell you're BS and you're not this girl's parents. Well, let me see your phone. Where's the picture of her? Every parent has fun, which is true. Every parent has a million pictures of their kids on their phone. You don't. Who the heck are you? Weird light stuff's happening. Lights go out. The parents literally vanish. It's like a bunch of magicians and shit. People just be disappearing and appearing. These people have powers, and they're looking for this girl because she obviously has these powers too. And whoever is if responsible for her or her created her, they want her back. And this small town Jersey cop got herself in the midst of something. Now let's talk about the cast real quick. Allison Tolman. I don't know who she is. I've never seen her in anything else before. Um, but uh, and you know what? I mean, just to be weird for a second, when you at face value, when you see her right from the jump, you don't think this is not the type of casting you would think from what movies and TV shows like this usually go for. They usually go for people who look a certain way and blase blase. You're expecting supermodels, the kind of stuff, right? They always do that, but no. And Allison Thompson is a very very pretty woman, but you know what I'm trying to say. And I'm sorry if I'm saying it the wrong way, but I'm glad they cast the way they did because it made it real. It's like this wasn't a fashion show. This is a woman who reminds me of the everyday person. This is a woman that like you can tell she has some issue because she's her character and the Donald Faison's character, they are like exes or something. They just, I guess, were recently divorced. They have a child. Um, so she's cool with me because she's a level 7, because they have an interracial child, right? And their characters are not, they're not at each other's throat. They're not bitter towards each other, but you can tell there was something there that they don't really go into it much, but there was something there. Maybe it's the fact that she's so focused on the job or something like that, is too driven and just drew their relationship apart. But that was woven into all the weird stuff going on with the little girl and whatnot. What was going on in her personal life was that more intriguing, not overtaking it. It was a far second, but it was still second. And the realism of how they act and how they bounced off each other. Hell, even the situation with her as a cop and her deputy, played by Robert Bailey Jr., which is a brother. I feel like I could have got that role. The way he plays, this dude is a simple man. I mean, this is a cop that, I mean, it's not like this is a situation where you got a girl with some weird powers and we got the badass chief of police and I'm gonna protect you. And no, she's scared and she's freaking out too, and she's keeping a level head. And this weird stuff is going on, and people. The thing I appreciated about this show was that people were reacting to these things in fairly realistic ways. Was it campy or was it this or was it that? No, I don't. Yeah, maybe, but no. I felt like there was a lot more realistic dialogue in a world where like a little girl is making weird things happen and rain is pouring sideways and stuff like that. All these when people are vanishing, literally vanishing in this weird little world, and people and you got this secret society coming after you for what for whatever reason. But the conversations and the interactions with the police chief and the ladies at the hospital, the police chief and her deputy, him being very soft spoken and very like he seems like he's like an apprentice. His character was like in a situation like he respects his chief in a way. He's where he's learning where he's all about I got your back. Like he's a good friend, a good soldier, and very soft spoken. But I can tell that dude's got some punch, and I'm waiting for it. They didn't show that in this episode, but you can feel it's coming. Like he's soft spoken for a reason. Like, okay, all right. But then in the end of the episode, it's like I got it. I need your help with something to help out this little girl. There's some people after her, and there's some weird stuff going on. And what I'm asking you to do is bad, but I need you to help me do it anyway. And without even hesitating, let's do it. I'm like, that's the kind of character that's gonna have a lot of epic things happen. He reminds me, let me tell you who that dude reminds me of right now. Twitch from Spawn, the Spawn comic book. Smallest dude in the room. His partner is a mountain of a man. But Twitch is the one you don't mess with. Twitch walks up to a supernatural being that, for all he knows, is murdering a bunch of mobsters and gangs and killing them single-handedly, barehandedly, probably. Walks right up to him and without flinching, no sweat, no shiver, nothing. Heart rate is probably still the same. And he's like, "Are you threatening me?" And Spawn looks at him and it's, "What are you gonna do about it, little man?" "I'd shoot you between the eyes." And he meant that. And it wouldn't have worked, but Twitch didn't know that. But that was, I mean, you call out a supernatural being or at least a maniac that all you know has been murdering people. And he's like, "I need you to come out very slowly right now, or things are gonna get bad for you." And then you got a lot of, and he said, and Spawn even had to show him respect. You got a lot of bark for a little guy. That's what he reminds me of. You can tell. I feel like he's soft spoken for a reason. But but the family, everything that's going on with, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about all of them. Everything that they've said, and done so far has been, the dialogue has been what makes that show works. The supernatural stuff is maybe a second, but wait, the what's going on with how she is as a cop, as a chief of police, how she is as a mother, how she is for taking in a little girl that obviously needs help, how soft spoken she can be, and how tough and at the end of the episode proves why she's the chief of police. This actress was able to was able to play all these different roles in this one character. All this is an onion. You're peeling back, right? And I love complicated people like that. I just love it. You don't take them at face value. Not everybody has something about them like that. Each and every one of them, especially the little girl, played by I'm sorry, let me get to her name. The little girl who seems to be a sweetheart. Now, and I'm looking into the behind the scenes stuff. These people seem to be having a hell of a time, man. Alexa Sweeten, the playing the little girl. Clancy Brown playing the father of the main character of the police chief. From Pet Sematary 2, best movie ever, right? And then Ashley, how do you say her last name? The daughter, I can't pronounce that last name. I can't pronounce that last name. Off der Heiden, is that German? Off the don't, I'm not gonna pronounce that. But having a dad like Donald Faison and Allison, mom like Allison Thomas, I mean, it fit. You look at it, you're like, oh, this is your stars. What's this movie about? What's this TV show about? And then when you see it, it makes it from the very first scene, the moment she starts talking to the Alexis character as a mom first, you start feeling you immediately are with them. You're on their side. The second they start to speak, the second that she looks, the way she looks over, the way they look at each other, you're immediately on their side, and they draw you in on body language mostly alone. That's the signs of a good team, a good actors and good actresses and showrunners, man. That's so I'm rooting for this show, and it's trending and it's doing good, and more power to it. Give this one a shot. If you haven't checked it out, go back and check this out. It's weird. If you like me, you love this weird stuff, go check out Emergence and let me know if you saw it, and let me know what you guys are talking about, and what your thoughts on it moving forward, and how you felt about these characters and so on. Now, do you feel the same way I do, or do you think this show is going to make it? I mean, and are you rooting for it? And give me all the reasons why you do like it. I'd like to know about that. So, without further ado, guys, I'm out of here, man. I came from the big hit to All Rise to do two binge reviews on it, and I'm done, man. I don't got time for to talk about this anymore. But if you guys want to keep talking about it, in the comments below, and let me know what you guys think. And until next time, guys, hey, peace.